Ask This Old House, our experts travel across the country to answer questions about your house. Today, we'll tell you all about holly and how to incorporate the popular evergreen into your landscape. Then, we'll show you how to properly clean and maintain your dishwasher to keep it running longer.
Let's tip this back up.
Okay. And we'll create beautiful homemade Christmas ornaments.
It's gonna go to the top, Ross.
All righty.
Hollies are usually associated with the holiday season, making wreaths and garlands, but what they do for the landscape is add cheer to your garden all season long. I love hollies because they keep their distinctive, dense, glossy leaves all year, which makes them a great foundation planting for any garden design. As a bonus, hollies take center stage in the colder months. In the fall, they set their berries to persist throughout the winter. There are over 480 species of ilex, the Latin name for holly. They are a large and diverse group that ranges from small shrubs to tall trees, so there are many options. This is Ilex meservae, also known as blue holly. It's what you think of when you think of a classic holly. It produces those brilliant red berries in the fall, and it has these deep blue-green leaves. So the texture of these leaves has a very spiny, serrated edge, but they're not too sharp like the American holly, which will really prick your finger on. This is a vigorous growing shrub. It grows about 6 to 8 inches each year. This holly is tolerant of the cold and performs best in zones 5 through 8. This one is a male and this one is a female. The female are the ones that hold the berries. And if you want to produce berries, you need a male pollinator to pollinate them. They need to be planted within 100 feet of each other in the yard to ensure that the female will have berries. Another important thing is when you're at the nursery, don't forget to check out the tags. They will tell you exactly what you need to know about the plant and whether it's a male or female. This is Ilex crenata, a Japanese holly that's native to Asia. It's a dense evergreen shrub. Unlike the Ilex meservae, the Ilex crenata has smaller, smoother leaves, and it has a deep, lustrous green color. People often mistake it for a boxwood, but it's actually in the holly family. There's many different growth habits for the Japanese hollies. These are Ilex crenata sky pencil. They're a very vertical, upright plant. They need to be pruned to keep that habit, otherwise they have a tendency to splay out. I find that they're used more in decorative gardens, like finer gardens, than in a rugged landscape. Then you have an Ilex crenata hetzi. That's going to be more of like a shrub that stays lower and more rounded. So there's many different applications for all these Japanese hollies. Ilex crenatas grow best in zones 5 to 9. If you experience harsh winters, you might want to wrap it in burlap. Both the meservae and the crenata can tolerate full sun to part shade and like moist, well-drained soil. If you want easy to take care of evergreens, plant some hollies in the spring and enjoy them all year.
Okay, Richard, that time of year where our dishwashers play a starring role, we do not want them to let us down.
Right. A lot of dishes get dirty and need to be cleaned. Last year we talked about the disposer, you know, what not to put in around the holidays. We thought we'd do the same thing with dishwashers. So we always see them. I thought we'd take a little trip, sort of what's inside them. You know, the common complaints we get are that the water doesn't discharge or that the dishes don't dry. But I think you really have to know what's going on inside first, okay? We always see this part. You know, you throw your dishes in, you set the button, you go away for 2 hours. It's got upper and lower racks. But what has to come to it is backstage. Let's tip this down.
Okay.
So in a tiny little space underneath, there's always a water supply line coming to here. This is to a solenoid valve right here. There's a discharge. This has to go to the drain. And there's an electrical connection has to come to here. Those are the 3 connections. So while we're under here, though, I want to talk about some of the parts that you might see above, but this is the motor that will drive the wash arm and it'll drive the pump ultimately. Here's the discharge valve that'll have the water leave to go to the drain. Underneath is this little check valve right here. You see it? And this is designed to flap to let discharge water go this way, but not let the water that might be coming from the disposer go this way. So that's an important device.
Gotcha.
Here's a float switch. You know that if there was a discharge, you want to make sure that the water doesn't continue to fill and come out, because this is not actually watertight. That door is not watertight. If the water got above that inner rim, it would leak onto the floor.
So once that little basin on the bottom fills up, the float says, kick the water out.
That's right. And then there is a heating element you can see right here with electrical connections right to here, okay? And you'll see that when we flip it back over. So those are the components. There's a control panel on the front. Let's tip this back up.
Okay.
There's a control panel on the front that has the wires that come down and that drive the whole bus, okay?
Right.
So the common complaint is the water doesn't discharge, okay?
I'm going to clamp this in place so it doesn't get tippy on us here.
So you got water down in here, and so when you first say, let's wash, it comes on, it brings hot water into it, fills this lower basin, and it washes with these rinse arms that spin around. It will wash the dishes and drive food down to the bottom. So now we have to get, in that first cycle, you have to get that dirty water out of the dishwasher. So, you know, you hear the thing open and close. And so oftentimes we find, just grab that disposer, Kenny.
This guy here?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. You're a nice, beautiful cutaway.
Okay. So the discharge line comes from the dishwasher to the disposer, and it often has to come into the side port right here.
Right.
So if this disposer was filled with food, it would block it. But much more often, it is this line that might be clogged.
Yeah, so little bits and pieces get stuck in here.
Right. So a little installation error. It should always be that the hose, when it leaves the dishwasher, hold it right there, it should go up on the side of the cabinet and then come to this point so that when the water pumps the water up, the foodstuffs fall down this way. Because you don't want disposer foodstuff going backwards and clogging that early part of the drain.
You guys call this the high loop, right?
That's
so
right.
Nothing
Okay.
can get up
Right.
this way.
And that's not always done, and that's often what causes this problem.
Okay.
Okay? And then the other is that the unit itself can get clogged. So there's always two racks. The bottom rack is always easy. It just comes out, okay? The top rack, so that it doesn't tip over when you pull it out, has these little clips. Each manufacturer is a little bit different, but you can see right at the end, oh, you did it.
Yeah.
Good.
I've got kids. I've had to take them apart before.
You got kids.
They don't rinse, you know?
Okay.
I'm used to it.
So now, when you look down here, here's this bottom basin, here's this rinse arm that goes around here, here's the float I talked about.
And this is the electrical element?
That's
This
the
is
electrical
heater?
element, okay? So we need to get this rinse arm off. This is the lower rinse arm. Water comes up, pushes through here, but also pushes up through this back manifold right here to a middle rinse arm on this unit and also a top one. But right here is where food comes down through. And so you say, oh, so if there was a big chunk of food, like meat gristle or something like that, it could clog this. And if it clogged it enough, it just wouldn't get it out of there. But there's also an additional filter and a grinder out of sight down just below this rinse arm.
So is there an easy way to get to it, or is it a little bit of a disassembly required?
A little bit of disassembly. There's only one tool really that you need, and that is a T15, a Torx head screw.
Right.
So these screws are unique, and I'm going to take it. We're going to dive in now and show you. Now you want to save these screws and don't drop them into
Well, go down the drain,
bad
right?
place.
I'll be in charge of them.
Okay.
So I get that one out. I can. Yeah.
Some units have 3 screws with the T15 head. Some have 4, and the 4th one is underneath this back arm. I think this one's only got 3. Let's see. Got it? Okay. So now, see this elaborate rinse cycle is pretty. There's clips. You see, we can break them out. Okay.
That's detached.
Okay. Now come here. Come to this side.
To you?
Yeah. To me. There it is.
All right.
Okay. That'll be fine. Good.
Well, is this guy gonna pop off?
So now this one is a screw that is clockwise to loosen. It's a left-handed screw. Oh, there's all kinds of good stuff in here. Oh, wait till you see what I'm going to find in here.
The ghost of Christmas past.
Yes.
Or I should say the turkey leg of Christmas past. Okay. Oh,
Oh,
lovely.
just look at what we found.
So let me get this stuff out of the way.
So, plastics. Here's your English muffin container sealer.
Oh, a couple of them.
Couple of them, okay. So if enough of these got in here, here's the sort of the grinder, the impeller, okay. And so this wants to all be clean because it's all trying to drive down through that these small holes. See them?
So this is part of the draining mechanism in here. It's not just out here.
So you would clean that, clean everything you can to keep here's plastics, more plastics. Okay.
So are you thinking that you only clean this when you see the basin fill and the discharge slow, or are you the kind of guy who says, I'm going to do this just before the guests come every holiday season?
I don't know if you do it proactively because it's much more prone to have the disposer be the issue. This does a pretty good job of controlling the biggest pieces. I mean,
Right.
you know, so.
But this is something a homeowner can do.
Something that you could do. It takes a bit of courage to do it, but you know, you can get at it. You know, make sure that you don't run the dishwasher. You can't run the dishwasher when the door's open, anyways. So it's really just a question of cleaning this, save the screws, don't let them drop into the drain connection, and then carefully put it back together again, and you should be fine.
And so what would cause, if we solve the leak problem, what would cause the dishes not to dry properly or as quickly as they should?
Well, one of the net side effects of getting more and more efficient is that we use less and less energy. So the heater is less inside. It used to be that there was a much more substantial heater inside this that could dry the dishes more readily. So it's going to always be more of an air drying thing. And you know, when you have dishes that catch water in it, that means there's standing water in that's going to work against you. I will tell you that if it's a stainless steel basin, the stainless steel will actually help you a little bit because the moisture in the air will condense on the stainless much more readily than on the plastic instead of the glasses. So stainless would be a little bit better for it, but you're never going to get what you once got, I think, in drying of the dishes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I can't fix that one.
All right. Well, that's good info. I'll help you put this back together.
right.
And listen, let's face it. I cook, you clean.
Always.
Whoa, Tommy. I am not surprised to see the lathe, but look at you.
Hey.
You are getting in the spirit.
Christmas spirit there, sonny boy. You gotta have it. I got a button here somewhere.
You got a headache?
Merry Christmas, right?
All right, please.
Let me find a button. I can leave that on for a while.
Please don't. Please don't. So, turning, what have you got in mind for today?
Well, you know, last year for Christmas, I turned some Christmas ornaments with my daughter, Kate.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, actually.
Very popular, so I decided that I might turn a few for some Christmas gifts.
Turned them and painted them all in one, right?
Yeah, I'm going to turn them. You want to help out? Maybe you can do a little turning or do a little painting. What do you think?
I'll do whatever you need me to do.
Yeah.
But so what do you got here? You got a couple scraps.
Scrap wood. I mean, these are scrap 2x4, 2x6s. I cut them up. This is a scrap piece of cherry.
Yeah.
And that's a cherry burl. I cut that off. And that's just waste wood. So I'll stick them in the chuck here, turn it on, and see what we can come up with.
I'm game. Let's do it.
All right.
You gonna wear the hat?
I'm going to wear the hat, yeah.
Is
Why not?
Is that safety approved?
Yeah.
I know you've taught me how to lathe once or twice, but you're gonna have to refresh my memory, Tommy. Chuck?
This is a chuck.
Yeah.
And this is a 4-jaw chuck, and this end is square. Normally we'd find the centers to put one on this side and then center it on this side, and it spins in between it. Because this piece is so short, that I can just do it right off of here, and it's faster.
Because you're not going to have to pin. And what's this called again?
That is called a center. This is a live center right there.
Right, gotcha.
All right, so normally I'd find the center there, but I want to set the tool rest up a little bit below the center of the spin here. I want to be away enough so that I don't interfere with this, so I'm about a quarter of an inch out. And I'm eyeballing this so I'm parallel with this other side of the lathe right there, so I'll have a nice straight cut.
And you're not coming too far left to the chuck. So
Right, I want to make sure everything's nice and tight because I don't want it to move.
Okay.
We're going to have safety glasses on.
Should we gear up?
Yeah, we'll gear up.
Do I have to wear a hat?
I don't know if we got one big enough. Now I like to turn these because they're so small and so tight. I will turn them at a high speed. I want to make sure I'm in forward, turn it on. And I'm thinking about 1800, 20, that's 2100, so let's try 2000. That's a good speed right there. Now I can rough this out with a roughing gouge. Used a roughing gouge before.
Yeah.
Or I could do the whole thing with a skew. But let's do a roughing gouge first, see what happens, all right? I'm just going to basically make a taper, and then I'll feed off of that cone with my pattern. And I don't really know what I want to do right now, but I also want to make sure that they're all unique to one another, so I try not to make any of them the same. Now I'm going to think about the detail that I want to put on the end, so I'll make a little finial. All right, so I'll go back a little further, go a little deeper. I'll make the point to the finial, come down on it, slowly come down, just light pressure. Now I have a point.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, it really is just free form, right? I mean, you're not
Free
going
form
off
right
of a
now.
template or a guide, anything to your
No,
imagination.
it's all what you see. So I could actually now feed off of that and make a little detail there. These that I make, a lot of them, they're basically practice. I have these pieces that I go down in my shop at night, and I might turn 3 or 4 of them because I'm doing my different cuts. So if I want to do a bead here off of this, I'll do a little bead, bring it in, and have a little design. So now I can bring it back down here. From over here, I'll take from this high point, I might make a little cove in there. I want to get that edge, get my edge, bring it down, bring it out a little bit, and maybe roll it right around. You see? Now I'm using my bevel, I'm using my edge, I'm riding the bevel, I'm turning off of the bevel, and the bevel is doing 2 things. It's making sure that my tool doesn't kick back at me, but it's also giving me a finish that is smooth.
Wow. Yeah. Sanded smooth, that's amazing.
Yeah. You have to make sure your tools are sharp, because if they're not, you're not going to get the kind of cut that you want. I can't just go in straight. If I go in straight, that's the best I can do. So I have to follow the bevels to wherever I want to go, but I have to start straight so it doesn't kick back at me. Then I'll go in, and then I'm going in the direction of that bevel. See how it just follows that bevel right in? That could be an ornament right there.
That is remarkable. That puts you in the mood. Look at this.
Yeah.
Ooh. and
Tommy must be happy on the lathe. What's the project today?
Speaking of elves, look at all these, huh?
Yeah, look at them all.
We
Well, we
came
got
to
a bunch
play.
of little ornaments that we're going to turn. We need some help sanding and painting. Anybody up for some work?
Yeah, let's
Me.
do it.
Me.
All right.
Santa.
Mark,
All right.
you too. Wow.
Let's divide and conquer. Painting, sanding, hanging, hooking, the whole thing. All right, let's go.
All right, we got another little mini lathe. Set that up and do some sanding.
Break.
I'm going to do some more cutting.
Those are beautiful.
Cut something.
Well, we can start with that one.
Is that ready?
Yeah, that one looks ready, right?
Yeah, this one's ready.
Let's start with that.
Oh, that's nice right there.
That's money.
Ornament.
Thank you, Richard.
Here you go.
Ooh, look at
This one's
that.
going to go to the top, Ross. All righty.
Ornament coming in.
Coming in, ornament.
Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
All right, I might go all the way. Pretty good.
Feels like
pretty-
your red has to get better.
This red is gone.
The red, some of the red. Do we have any more paint? You want
Is
some
there a
of that?
red brush? Here, try the red brush. Hold on, there you
All right.
go. Let's do a red for this last little bit here. Let's leave the white right there.
What about adding a little more green there?
This is like finger painting, sort of. You were really good at finger painting.
Aww.
Oh, wait, thank you.
That's a good one.
That's a nice one.
You're right. Looks
Tommy?
like a red nunner.
Like that?
Looks good.
All right. All right, who's doing hooks?
We're doing hooks over here.
Ross?
We are.
All right.
We got one ready. Oh, yeah, okay.
Thank you, sir.
You got it?
All right. Do you want to do the hooks, or you want me to do the hooks?
Well, you can. This is wet,
Oh,
so we need this to be cut so we can put the eye hooks in.
excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
And then, do we have another one to do? Tommy, are you really behind on your production?
Ross,
A little touch on this one.
I can't get that
corner.
angle. You
All
go.
right, I got you.
You go.
I got you. Rotation.
Rotation.
Rotation. How about that?
Tommy, very nice job. These things turned out great. Great job, everybody, right?
Yeah, they all did a
Thank
great
you.
job. Great job
It
painting.
was fun.
Looks good.
It was fun. All right, well, that is a wrap. So from all of us at Ask This Old House to your family, we wish you the happiest of holidays. All right, guys, nice job. Father
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Next time on Ask This Old House, on Tool Lab, we'll break down table saw blades and help you select the right one for your project. Then we'll upgrade an existing Wi-Fi network.
It's awful. The Wi-Fi keeps dropping. It's buffering, streaming for the kids. Very tough.
And we'll show you how to replace a drain on a bathroom tub. All that on Ask This Old House.